Most people don't even see it coming. The hidden danger is already spreading through grocery stores, and by the time anyone notices, it will be too late to fix. Shelves are quietly thinning, supply chains are cracking, and several everyday foods are set to vanish before December 2025, long before the public realizes what's happening. I've been tracking these shifts for months, and what I've uncovered is something the mainstream will never tell you. Stay with me, because number 4 on this list is the one every industry insider is quietly preparing for, and it will shock you. Number 1, canned corned beef. When the economy is shaking, inflation is climbing, and grocery shelves are turning into battlegrounds. Canned corned beef becomes more than just food. It becomes strategy. People underestimate it because it sits quietly on the bottom shelf. But in a real crisis, this humble can turns into pure survival currency. When fresh meat vanishes and cold storage becomes unreliable, corned beef steps up as one of the most dependable. 40 proteins you can stack deep without wasting space, time, or energy. In an economic collapse, calories equal power. And corned beef gives you both protein and staying strength without demanding fuel, refrigeration, or complicated prep. Pop the top, and it's instantly usable. No heating, no cooking, no gear. If the grid goes down, if you're stuck in your car during a blackout, or if your neighborhood is hit with rolling outages, you can open this can and eat straight from it. And that alone puts it miles ahead of trendy survival foods that require boiling water or extra tools. And if you do have the luxury of heat, corned beef transforms fast. Dice it into canned potatoes and carrots for a filling stew. Shred it into tortillas for quick survival tacos. Mix it with rice and beans to stretch a single can across 2, even 3 meals. In a crisis, versatility is not a bonus. It's survival math. The shelf life alone makes corned beef a prepper essential. Stored in a cool, dry place, it lasts 3 to 5 years, often even longer if the can remains sealed and undamaged. It's the kind of food you store once, rotate occasionally, and rely on without worry. Place extra cans in airtight bins or plastic totes to protect them from pests, moisture, or accidental crushing. A simple step that keeps your stockpile secure and ready when the rest of the world is scrambling for scraps. And here's the truth most people ignore. The price of canned meats is rising every year. Corned beef used to be a cheap household staple. Now, in a shaky economy, it's already jumped in price and can double again when supply chains tighten. Every can you buy today is money saved tomorrow. There's also the morale factor, a massively overlooked piece of survival planning. When everything feels uncertain, a warm corned beef meal can restore a sense of control and normalcy. People underestimate how much taste matters during hardship, but a satisfying, familiar meal can stabilize emotions, calm fear, and lift spirits when things are falling apart outside. And don't forget its barter value. In tough times, useful food becomes currency. A single can of corned beef can buy you candles, water filters, ammunition, even favors or goodwill that money can't. Don't wait for shelves to go bare. Start stocking corned beef now. Rotate it regularly and keep it accessible. It's cheap, powerful, shelf-stable, and virtually fail-proof. Exactly the kind of food that keeps you strong when the world around you starts shaking. Number 2, canned chicken. When an economic collapse hits and families are forced to stretch every dollar, every calorie, and every resource. Canned chicken becomes one of the smartest, most adaptable survival staples you can stock. It's the kind of food people walk past every day because it doesn't look flashy, but in a real crisis, it quietly becomes a lifeline. Unlike many canned meats that are heavy, greasy, or tough to work with, canned chicken gives you lean, easy-to-use protein that fits into almost any emergency meal. When grocery store coolers are empty, when meat prices skyrocket overnight, and when fresh poultry becomes a luxury item, canned chicken steps in as a reliable, affordable, long-lasting alternative that won't fail you. What makes it so powerful is its flexibility. Open a can and you instantly have shredded, ready-to-eat lean meat that can be added to almost anything in your pantry. Mix it into rice and canned vegetables for a hearty bowl. Stir it into a soup base and create an instant chicken stew. Fold it into tortillas for wraps, or combine it with mayo or mustard for a quick chicken salad that tastes like normal life in a moment when everything else feels unpredictable. In a blackout or fuel shortage, meals don't need to be complicated. they need to be efficient, and canned chicken delivers exactly that. Its neutral flavor allows it to blend seamlessly with staples like beans, pasta, potatoes, and canned veggies, turning survival calories into something comforting and familiar. From a storage perspective, canned chicken is one of the easiest items to manage. Most cans last 3 to 5 years, and if stored in a cool, dry area, preferably inside airtight bins or plastic totes, they remain protected from moisture, pests, and crushing. This makes it ideal for long-term preparedness, 72-hour kits, or bug-out supplies. And here sets the part many survival beginners overlook. If you plan to survive on canned goods for more than a few days, sodium becomes a real issue. High-sodium foods can drain your energy, increase dehydration, and make long-term survival harder than it needs to be. That's why choosing low-sodium canned chicken is a small decision that makes a huge difference when water is limited, or you relying on canned foods for extended periods. When you look at cost, canned chicken is one of the most budget-friendly proteins you can stockpile. Prices have risen sharply, nearly 15% in some areas, and supply chain instability means poultry could become even more expensive. Buying canned chicken now, especially during sales, locks in protein security for the future at today's prices. In a crisis, even a simple chicken meal can lift morale, calm nerves, and give your family a sense of normalcy. Comfort matters just as much as calories. Start building your supply today. Grab a few cans every time you shop, rotate them regularly, and store them safely. Canned chicken is lean, reliable, and crisis-proof. A small investment now that pays off massively when the world stops giving you options. Number 3. Canned tuna, when money is tight. Shelves are unreliable, and global markets start cracking under pressure. Canned tuna becomes one of the smartest, most compact, and nutrient-dense survival foods you can rely on. People often overlook it because it's inexpensive and familiar, but that's exactly what makes it powerful. Tuna delivers high-quality protein, long shelf life, and life-saving omega-3 fats in a can that weighs almost nothing. In an economic collapse, when every dollar matters and every calorie counts, tuna gives you the strength, mental clarity, and endurance you need without demanding fuel, refrigeration, or complicated prep. It's one of the rare foods that fits in your pantry, your car, your bug-out bag, and your emergency kits all at the same time. Its versatility is unmatched. Open a can and you have a complete protein source ready to eat instantly. Mix it with crackers for a simple survival snack. Stir it into cooked rice and beans for a high-calorie meal. Toss it into pasta with canned vegetables for a hearty dinner. You can even turn tuna into survival patties or cold salads when you reload on fuel or dealing with rolling blackouts. And unlike many canned meats that feel heavy or greasy after long storage, tuna maintains a clean, satisfying flavor that works for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I'm a crisis. Food fatigue becomes real. Eating the same thing every day destroys morale. Tuna's ability to shift into dozens of meal types keeps your diet balanced and your spirits steady. Storage is simple but crucial. Keep your tuna cans in a cool, dark cupboard to preserve quality. I'd rotate them every 3 to 5 years, and whenever possible. Choose BPA-free cans to minimize chemical exposure during long-term storage. For maximum protection, store extra cans in plastic totes or airtight bins. These prevent crushing, moisture damage, and accidental leaks. Because tuna is small and stackable, you can store large quantities without sacrificing much space, making it ideal for people prepping in apartments, tight closets, or small pantries. Financially, tuna is one of the best prepper investments available. Many cans cost under $1 per serving, making it one of the lowest cost, highest protein foods you can stock. And that's becoming increasingly important as global seafood demand rises and prices follow. Tuna prices jumped nearly 14% in the past year alone, and during crises. Cheap protein is often the first thing to disappear from store shelves. Prepping tuna now is not just practical, it's insurance against economic shocks. The hidden value of tuna goes beyond calories. The omega-3 South boosts brain function, reduce inflammation, and help manage stress. All critical benefits in a crisis. And because it's lightweight and compact, tuna becomes excellent barter material. One small can can be traded for spices, rice, or even batteries. Start stacking tuna today. Place a few cans in your pantry, your car, your emergency bag, anywhere you might need quick, clean fuel when the world turns unpredictable. This small can delivers massive survival value, and in hard times, that difference is everything. Number 4. Canned salmon in times of economic instability. When healthy food becomes expensive and protein sources disappear from shelves, canned salmon transforms from a simple pantry item into a high-value survival asset. Most people overlook it because it seems like a nice-to-have rather than a necessity. But in a real crisis, salmon checks every box that matters. Protein, healthy fats, micronutrients, long shelf life, easy preparation, and incredible versatility. When you're dealing with financial stress, inflation, or food shortages, your body needs more than just calories. It needs strength, clarity, and nutrients that keep you functioning under pressure. That's where salmon shines brighter than almost any other canned protein. Canned salmon is one of the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids, the essential fats your brain requires to stay sharp and your body needs to manage stress. During prolonged hardship, job loss, grocery shortages, power outages, your cognitive energy matters just as much as your physical stamina. Omega-3 South help keep your mind steady, your decision-making clear, and your body resilient when stress levels rise. Many cans also contain edible bones, which are packed with calcium. This isn't just a health bonus, it's crucial in long-term crises where access to fresh dairy or supplements might disappear. The versatility of canned salmon makes survival cooking easier and far more enjoyable. You can eat it straight from the can for instant fuel. Mix it with pasta and canned vegetables for a filling dinner. Turn it into salmon patties, using simple ingredients like breadcrumbs or even crushed crackers. Add it into rice for a nutrient-packed bowl. And when morale dips, even a salmon sandwich can restore the feeling of normalcy. That psychological comfort is priceless when the world outside feels unpredictable. From a preparedness standpoint, canned salmon is incredibly reliable. Properly stored in a cool, dry space, it lasts 3 to 5 years unopened. To extend protection, keep the cans in airtight bins or sealed totes to prevent rust, moisture exposure, or crushing, especially if you're stacking them with heavier items. This simple habit keeps your high-value nutrition safe and ready for years. Cost-wise, salmon is surprisingly budget-friendly when you break down its nutrition per serving value. A single can often cost only a few dollars, yet delivers premium nutrients that would cost far more if bought fresh, especially during inflation spikes. And because global demand for fish continues rising, prices are expected to climb even faster during supply chain disruptions. Stocking up now means locking in value before salmon becomes yet another overpriced luxury item. Above all, salmon supports both your physical and mental survival. In a prolonged crisis, feeling drained, foggy, or malnourished can lead to bad decisions, and bad decisions cost more than money. Salmon keeps your energy stable, your mood lifted, and your meals satisfying. Begin adding canned salmon to your long-term stockpile today. It's nutritious, reliable, morale-boosting, built for crisis resilience, exactly the kind of food your future self will be grateful for. Number 5. Canned ham in an economic downturn. When families are forced to cut back, stretch meals, and make every calorie count. Canned ham becomes one of the most valuable and morale-boosting survival foods you can store. While many people associate canned ham with holiday leftovers or occasional recipes, preppers understand its true power. It's calorie-dense, long-lasting, ready to eat, and incredibly versatile. When supply chains falter, when grocery shelves empty overnight, or when skyrocketing meat prices put fresh pork out of reach, canned ham steps in as a hearty, dependable protein source that stabilizes both your stomach and your spirits. What makes canned ham unique is its ability to deliver substantial, satisfying meals during times when hunger and stress are running high. It's not light or lean, it's comforting. And in survival conditions, comfort is far more important than people realize. One can of ham can instantly upgrade bland emergency staples like rice, canned potatoes, beans, or pasta. Dice it into soups or stews for extra weight and flavor. Slice it cold for sandwiches when the power is out. Fry it in a little oil to create a warm, rich meal that cuts through the monotony of shelf-stable food. In a crisis, when routines shatter and uncertainty grows, the simple act of enjoying a warm, hearty bite can give you the mental strength needed to stay focused and composed. Canned ham also stands out for its exceptional shelf life. Many brands last several years when stored in a cool, dry place. Because the cans are often larger and heavier than other canned meats, storing them safely is important. Keep them off the ground, protected from moisture, and ideally inside airtight bins or plastic totes. This prevents rust, reduces the chance of dents, and makes your stockpile easier to access in emergencies. And while ham is known for being high in sodium, this can actually work in your favor during short-term crises when you need electrolytes. Just be sure to pair it with water-rich foods and plenty of hydration during long-term use. The economic advantage cannot be ignored. Fresh pork prices have climbed aggressively over the past few years. And during supply chain disruptions, pork is often one of the first meats to spike in price or disappear altogether. Canned ham, on the other hand, remains relatively affordable for just a few dollars. You get multiple servings of protein that can be stretched into several meals if combined with affordable staples. In times of financial instability, foods that multiply your resources are priceless. But one of the most underrated elements of canned ham is its morale impact. When the world feels unstable and every day brings new challenges, meals that feel rich, flavorful, and normal become psychological anchors. They remind you that life is still manageable, that things will stabilize. You're still in control. Stock canned ham while it's affordable and available. Store it safely, rotate it regularly, and use it to reinforce your emergency meals. In a crisis, this single can deliver warmth, calories, flavor, morale, and the kind of stability money can't buy when things fall apart. Number 6. Spam and canned luncheon meats when the economy is unstable, prices are unpredictable, and basic supplies disappear with no warning. Spam and other canned luncheon meats become some of the most dependable, calorie-rich survival foods you can stack. While people joke about spam or dismiss it as old-fashioned, preppers know the truth. This little block of meat has fed soldiers, families, and entire nations during hard times. In a real crisis, when meat prices surge, power outages kill your refrigerator, or grocery stores look ransacked, spam instantly turns into one of the most valuable, versatile proteins you can rely on. It's cheap, long-lasting, ready to eat straight from the can, and filled with the calories and fat your body needs when stress and hardship drag you down. Its versatility is one of its greatest strengths. If you have no fuel, no cookware, and no time, you can open the can and eat it cold. If you're lucky enough to have a stove or portable burner, even a few minutes of frying turns spam into a morale-boosting meal that tastes like comfort and stability. Slice it for breakfast with eggs. Add it to fried rice for a high-calorie lunch. Dice it into pasta, beans, or soups to instantly transform bland ingredients into something hearty and flavorful. Survival food dose and tea need to be tasteless, and spam proves that flavor can still exist when the world outside feels chaotic. From a preparedness standpoint, spam shines because of its impressive shelf life. Most cans last 2 to 5 years, and many remain good far beyond that if stored properly. Keep them in a cool, dry area, away from heat sources. Because spam cans stack easily but can dent under heavy pressure, storing them inside airtight bins or durable plastic totes helps protect your investment. These bins also create ready-to-grab emergency packs for bug-out bags or quick evacuations. When survival depends on speed, having a pre-packed container filled with calorie-dense foods like spam is priceless. Financially, spam is one of the best bargains in prepping. For just a few dollars, you get a compact protein source that can fuel an adult for an entire meal. And with global meat prices rising and supply chains growing more fragile each year, spam's affordability may not last. It's already more expensive than it was just a year or two ago. A clear warning that now is the time to stock up before inflation and scarcity push it out of reach. Buying spam today is essentially locking in future meals at today's prices. In an economic collapse, that kind of foresight is a game-changing advantage. Spam also carries barter value. In a crisis, calorie-dense foods packed with salt and protein are worth more than cash. A can of spam can be traded for rice, water filtration supplies, batteries, candles, or even fuel. It's universally recognizable, shelf-stable, and comforting, a perfect trade item when money becomes meaningless. Start stacking spam now. Keep some in your pantry, some in your emergency kits, and some in your vehicle. It's reliable, filling, flavorful, and built for hard times. exactly what you need when the world becomes uncertain. Number 7. Canned beef stew. When times are uncertain, when the economy is sliding, and when families are forced to choose between rising bills and rising food costs, canned beef stew becomes one of the most valuable and complete survival meals you can rely on. Unlike simple canned meats, beef stew gives you a full, ready-to-eat combination of protein, vegetables, fats, and broth, everything your body needs to stay stable and energized when life throws you into chaos. In an economic collapse, a warm, hearty meal isn't just food, it's stability, it's clarity. It's the difference between feeling overwhelmed and feeling capable enough to keep moving forward. The power of beef stew lies in the fact that it's a complete meal in a single can. You get tender chunks of beef for strength, potatoes for energy, carrots for nutrients, and a savory broth that feels like comfort during hard times. When fresh ingredients vanish and you don't have the luxury of a fridge, freezer, or full kitchen, this simple can becomes a lifeline. You can eat it cold straight from the can if you have no fuel, something most survival foods can offer. But if you do have a stove, even a small camping burner, heating beef stew instantly transforms it into a morale-boosting dish that makes you forget, even for a moment, how unstable the world around you feels. From a survival perspective, canned beef stew is an incredible resource multiplier. Pour it over rice, pasta, or even bread, and you can stretch one can into 2 or 3 full meals. Add extra canned vegetables, and suddenly you have a nutrient-packed dinner that feeds multiple people. In crisis conditions, the ability to stretch food without sacrificing flavor or nutrition is priceless, especially when every item in your pantry needs to earn its place. Storage is simple and long-lasting. Beef stew typically has a 3 to 5 year shelf life, often longer if cans remain undamaged. Storing them in a cool, dry place preserves quality and flavor. For long-term prep, keep cans in plastic totes or airtight bins to protect against humidity, rust, and crushing. Because these cans are heavier than other items, stacking them securely prevents damage and ensures your emergency food supply stays reliable. Regular rotation is easy. Use a can in your normal meals once in a while and replace it, keeping your stockpile fresh without any extra effort. Economically, canned beef stew is a smart investment. For only a few dollars, you get a full, dense meal that provides real energy, not empty calories. As inflation pushes food costs higher and supply chains strain, hearty canned meals like beef stew become harder to find at reasonable prices. Buying now locks in affordable nutrition before shortages or price spikes hit again. But the greatest value of beef stew goes beyond calories. It's emotional resilience. A warm, savory meal can pull someone out of panic, ground a family during a blackout, or calm a stressful night during financial crisis. Food is survival, yes, but it's also mental stability. Start stacking beef stew now. It's filling, dependable, and built to carry you through the hardest days when everything else feels uncertain. Number 8. Canned sardines when the economy is breaking down, when shelves are emptying faster than they can be restocked. And when nutrition becomes harder to secure with every passing day, canned sardines rise to the top as one of the most powerful, compact, and nutrient-dense survival foods you can store. Most people ignore them because they're small, inexpensive, and unglamorous, but in a real crisis, those qualities make them priceless. Sardines pack more survival power per square inch than almost any other canned meat, giving you high protein, healthy fats, vital minerals, and long shelf life in a can small enough to fit in your pocket. In a collapse scenario where space, money, and resources are tight, sardines deliver big results without demanding anything in return. The nutritional profile alone makes sardines a top-tier prep. Each small can contain protein for strength, omega-3 South for brain function and stress control, and calcium from edible bones, nutrients that become life-saving when fresh produce, dairy, and supplements are no longer available. In long-term crises, malnutrition doesn't happen because people stop eating. It happens because they only eat carbs and empty calories. Sardines counter that perfectly. They give your body what it needs to stay sharp, energized, and resilient when stress, fatigue, and uncertainty are battering you day after day. Versatility is another reason sardines belong in every prepper's pantry. Eat them straight from the can for instant fuel. No cooking, heating, or equipment needed. Mix them with rice or pasta for a filling meal. Spread them on crackers for a quick, travel-ready snack. Stir them into canned vegetables for a high-nutrient survival bowl. You can even scramble them with powdered eggs, or add them to soups to boost protein and flavor. Sardines adapt to whatever you have on hand, which is exactly what you need when you're resurviving with limited ingredients and unpredictable access to food. From a storage standpoint, sardines are nearly unbeatable. They last 3 to 5 years or more if stored in a cool, dark place. Because the cans are small and lightweight, you can store dozens of them without sacrificing valuable shelf real estate. Keep them inside airtight bins to protect the thin cans from crushing rust or moisture. Especially important if you're restacking large amounts or storing your emergency food in garages, basements, or vehicles. And because they take so little space, sardines are perfect for bug-out bags, 72-hour kits, office emergency drawers, and even glove compartments in your car. When trouble hits, you'll always have nutrient-packed food within reach. Economically, sardines are one of the smartest purchases you can make. Many cans cost just $1 or $2, making them far cheaper than fresh fish, canned salmon, or even tuna in certain regions. But as more people recognize their survival value and global fish demand rises, prices won't stay low forever. Buying sardines now locks in high-quality nutrition at bargain prices before inflation and shortages push them out of reach. Sardines also carry incredible barter value during crisis. They are compact, universally useful, and nutritionally superior. Exactly the kind of item someone will trade generously for when their own supplies start to fail. A handful of sardine cans can be exchanged for rice, canned vegetables, fuel, batteries, or even hygiene supplies. In an economic collapse, food becomes currency, and sardines become some of the strongest coins you can hold. Start stacking sardines today. Keep them in your pantry, your emergency kits, your vehicle, and anywhere else you might get stranded or caught unprepared. This tiny can delivers massive survival power. When the world becomes unpredictable, that kind of reliability isn't just helpful, it's essential. When the economy crumbles and uncertainty becomes the new normal, the only real security you have is the preparation you start today. These 8-can meats aren't just food, they're protection, stability, and peace of mind when everything else becomes unreliable. Don't wait for shelves to empty or prices to explode. Start small, build steadily, and take control of your future one can at a time. Hope won't save you, action will. Begin preparing now while you still can.